Welcome to Courageous Conversation with Therese W Gamble, a cultural storytelling, gracious space to bridge generational gaps through active listening and action-oriented changes.
Welcome everybody. We are back. This series right here has been so enough on point. In other words, in the words of Elaine, it's been on jam. She loved that word, y'all. So if you don't remember nothing else, remember Elaine loves it when it's on jam. We've been talking about dictating the terms before you can't. The importance of advanced directives for healthcare decisions. But this special series, we are going to talk about a near and dear project that is so dear to Elaine's heart, and it's worth giving this attention to this audience too, internationally, because we see a lot of cancer prevention, cancer awareness organizations. Some of you know a lot of them, Susan G. Cohen, and in my neck of the woods, Donna Hicken in Jacksonville, Florida, and American Cancer Society. But I am an African-American Black woman, and there is not a lot of African-American Black women organizations that really promote and support us with cancer until now. So we're going to continue this conversation with Elaine McGraw-Brannon, the founder, the visionary of Revival's Health and Wellness Council. All right, Elaine, I learned in our interview conversation, game planning, you've been doing this for 17 years. So what is Revival Health and Wellness Council?
Well, actually, revivals came into play back in 2003 when I completed a little part of my journey as a breast cancer survivor. And I wanted to have an organization where we could support each other, kind of a support group to the 100th power, I would say.
Okay.
And so when I was going through my breast cancer journey, I just had a lot of dreams about how I would help people. I'm a social worker by nature, so I'm always looking at ways to help people. And as a social worker, I'm always looking for the gaps in services. So one of the gaps that I saw was a celebration gap.
Okay.
Like you said in your intro, there are a lot of organizations that advocate for different healthcare policies and procedures and laws. There are several organizations that search for a cure. They have very deep pockets, so they're in the trenches with researchers, and they're really big on, health treatment and research and education and screening and all those things. So in that, I'm looking for the gap.
Okay.
And in talking to breast cancer survivors, I found that one gap, and that is celebration of wellness.
Wow.
And the prevention and promotion of screenings, helping, before the diagnosis.
Right.
I saw a gap where organizations weren't working together in order to help each other enhance their programs, because everybody's working in a silo doing their own thing. And then that whole celebration of wellness, so I thought, what could I do to try to bridge that gap? And I went to an event for the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation. They do a wonderful event, the Race for the Cure. And their mission is in the name of that event, Racing for a Cure. They have walkers, they have runners, all the money collected goes to try to find a cure for breast cancer. And so I went to that event for the first time. I had just completed some treatment, and I noticed that there were a lot of people at that event in our community. It was probably over 4 to 6,000, which was big for our community. But there weren't a lot of people that looked like me and my husband there.
Right.
And I didn't know why. I didn't know if it was because the event was on a Sunday and a lot of people that look like me are in church. Or was it because we just didn't know about the event, we didn't care about the event, or because I live in a area where there's not a lot of black, there's not a large black population in the first place. But then I started looking at events all over the country, and I noticed similar things.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, wow, okay, so how could I enhance this? So I thought, well, the next year I will come back with a bunch of people that look like me, and we would be a part of this wonderful event, and we would raise money for the community, their mission, research, education, screening, treatment. I'm all for it.
Right.
So I got together with another lady and I said, hey, I want to go ahead and get this team together. And she was like, well, you've been doing a lot of, cancer activities with the American Cancer Society and all this. Why don't you bring some of that literature to this event I'm having, and you can talk to the ladies about it, and then maybe you can get some signups for your team. I thought this is wonderful, because these were going to be all black ladies that was coming to this
Okay.
event she was having. So I was game for that.
Okay.
So I created a big education piece for it, using materials from the American Cancer Society, because I started volunteering with them. And then we even had a contest to see what our team name was going to be. And we had people write down what our team name should be. And we, while they were watching a film, we sat and looked at all of the entries, and one stood out. Revivals, reviving women to better health.
Wow.
And I didn't know that the girl that I was partnering with, that she liked that one too. And so we both turned our papers over and we had the same thing.
Oh, wow.
And so it was just a wonderful experience. So we told the people that my name was going to be Revivals. And so we went to that event, and I had a team of about like 20, 28 people.
Wow.
And it was really nice. And I felt like we were making a difference. We were making a statement. We were saying, Black folks is here,
Right.
And we really enjoyed it, and it was very engaging, wonderful event. So I kept working with that organization, and my prayer was to be on their board.
Okay.
Because I thought this would be so nice, because they had an event. It was a breast cancer luncheon.
Okay.
This affiliate of the Coleman Foundation had a luncheon. And my husband took me to that event. It was amazing.
Wow.
And I thought, if I get on this board, that's the committee that I'm working on.
Right.
And so over the year, I was asked to be on that board.
Wow.
So I was just so excited, and I knew this organization, had a passion that was really all about what I was all about. So, but I did go to a board meeting, and that's when they said they weren't going to do the event anymore. And I thought, well, this is a great event. Why would you not do this event? Now, I had just turned that team into a nonprofit organization.
Wow.
Because what we wanted to do was do events all year long. So when the Race for the Cure came around, we would have all of our money collected and we could turn it in. But it just made it easier for us to do things if we were already a not-for-profit organization.
Right.
So I sat there in that board meeting and I begged them to continue doing the event, and they wouldn't. And I would come up with different ways to try to encourage them to do it.
Right.
And the last thing I did was, I thought, you know what? We took some pictures at that last luncheon, and I'm going to do a PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to convince these ladies that, yes, we're going to do this luncheon. Well, the lady that I was partnering with Revival, she says, no, you're not going to do that. They're not going to do it. You need to understand that no presentation is going to work. They've already made it clear to you that you're not going to do it, and they're not going to do it. And so just deal with it. And so the way I dealt with it was I sat in the booth at the restaurant we were in and I cried. And I said, it's just something about the way those ladies, they just had so much fun. And, I know what I could bring to the table and this and that and the other. And she says, well, Elaine, why don't you do it yourself?
Yep.
Well, no, not yet. The first thing out of my mind was, girl, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do that. I don't know nobody here. And I'm not from here. And she did the same thing you did. She just laughed and she said, all of those ideas that you had, that you was getting ready to cut on them. These are her exact words. She said, do it yourself. She said, now I can't help you. She said, but I could point you in the direction and you can do this. So that is what happened 17 years ago.
Wow.
Over 17 years ago, I went to a hotel. I gave them my idea. I told them what I wanted to do. And I was expecting 10 people to come to the event because the table sat 10. And this was all word of mouth. The local farmers market let me walk around the farmers market with a basket and a balloon hanging from it. And I was just giving out these pink invitations to people, telling them about the event. And 88 people came.
Oh my God.
It was really nice. We had a wonderful, wonderful time. And I wanted my event to have a theme. So there was a newscaster in the Bay Area in California. Her name is Faith Fancher. And Faith allowed her news station to follow her through her breast cancer journey.
Wow.
And I thought, I'm only 5 hours from the Bay Area. So I thought, I'm going to meet that lady. Oh my gosh, this lady is amazing. And I'm going to work with her. And so then she went to heaven before I could do that.
Oh, wow.
So when the time came that Revivals was birthed, I've always had her in the back of my mind because she had formed an organization. Actually, it was really her friends, all her little broadcaster friends. And it was called Friends of Faith.
Wow.
They had developed this organization where they did fundraisers, raised money, and they granted it out to people in the community who needed services.
Wow.
So I contacted them and I told them that I had admired Faith for years and that she passed away before I could work with her. And I just wanted y'all to know what I was going to do. And my event was going to be called Keeping the Faith Breast Cancer Survivors Luncheon. And they were just like, what? So they said, we're having a gala here in the Bay Area and we want you to come. And we're doing it in her honor, in her memory. And I thought, okay. So I got together. They picked me up from the airport. They took me to this gala. And I told my cousin who lives in the Bay Area, I said, girl, you're going to that? And I was like, yeah. She was like, everybody's going to be there. So I took her there. And as I'm there, she's pointing out who all of these different people are. And, because I'm not from the Bay Area, so I don't know these people. And this man walks up to me with this big box and he gives me all of this footage from her documentary that she did from her breast cancer journey. And as he walks away, my cousin said, yeah, that's the executive of the, KTVU News and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, because I don't know these people, right?
Right.
So I met her board and the ladies did tell me that they think me and Faith would have been friends.
Oh, wow.
We would have been girlfriends. And so they told me all about her and they told me about what they were doing in their community. And I was just overjoyed and they were just liking what I was doing. And So as I walked out of the room, I saw this other lady talking, and I thought, oh, I think that's Faith's mom, and I went up to her, and I was waiting my turn to talk, being very respectful. And all of a sudden she turned to me, and I got ready to introduce myself. And before I can get it out of my mouth, she said, I know who you are.
Uh-oh.
She said, you that little girl near Reno that's about to do a luncheon for my baby. And
Oh, wow.
I just fell in her arms. And do you know she came to that very first event that we had?
Wow.
She flew in from Tennessee, and she sat right there in our audience along with the executive director of Friends of Faith at the time.
Wow.
So I got that one opportunity to show them how much I admired their friend and what I wanted to do. So every year we have had a Keeping the Faith Breast Cancer Survivors Luncheon. And this luncheon is not a fundraiser. It is just a celebration where we come together and we celebrate legacy, those people that have gone on to heaven before us due to breast cancer, and the living legends, the ones that are still here.
That's good.
And our motive behind revivals is movement, music, and humor are effective antidepressants.
Mm.
So at our event, that's what we do. We have music, we have jams. Always have a jam and DJ. We have praise dancers that open us up and close us out. We have movement. We are hitting that dance floor.
Oh, wow.
Moving around. We have a health and wellness marketplace where we have vendors that they present their goods and services to our survivors at discount price, and just share with the survivors. And then we have humor. We laughing about something.
Oh, wow.
And we just have a grand old time. The last luncheon that we had was in 2019. And we had a live bingo caller. We had bingo. It was fabulous.
Wow.
And so each year we have done that event, and hundreds come, and it's just a day for us to eat and fellowship and move and just enjoy each other's company. And so through revivals, that's how we celebrate.
That's
Wellness.
good.
I mean, it might be, hey, I had chemotherapy this morning and I didn't throw up. Well, let's have a party. We just really want to celebrate every milestone of the survivor and their supporters. And so we also target certain partners in the community, and we help them with their programs. We volunteered for the Alzheimer's Association 1 year, and they had their walk where we did the goodie bag buffet. I mean, we made sure that everybody had their goodie bags and we stuffed them. And, so we want to enhance our partners to make sure that their programs are successful.
That
as well,
is
because
amazing.
that's what social workers do.
Yeah.
And then we want to promote wellness and the prevention of health issues if people can. And so I'm a essential oil wellness advocate with doTERRA International. And so we are always having classes and passing out samples so that people can experience the wonderful world of essential oils as any kind of preventative health things that they want to do. We promote people walking so that they could, keep their bodies in shape. And then we have a resource center where people donate things to us, and we make sure that they get to survivors. Let me tell you, I have a partnership with the Nevada Beekeepers Association.
Wait, the who?
The Nevada Beekeepers
You
Association.
talking about the bees that fly in the air?
Yes.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
bees produce beeswax,
Okay.
and beeswax is very good for you. And so I go to those meetings. Those people bring in loads of beeswax for me because, people make their own body butters. They make their own lip balm with essential oils or without. And so all of those natural components are very good for survivors. So at the luncheons, I'm passing that stuff out, or somebody can call me up and say, hey, Lane, I didn't want to order my beeswax online. Do you have any from the association? They're just local bee farmers, and I just distribute it out. So
Wow.
American Cancer Society closed their one of their resource opportunities, which was a wig closet, and they closed it and put their resource centers in the hospitals, but they called revivals. And they said, Elaine, do you know people that may want wigs and things? And I'm like, yeah. So they donated all these wigs and these prostheses to us. So when people, they're not able to afford a wig, or they may just want a different kind, they can call us. We can look through our inventory to see if we have something they want. I'm trying to partner though with some local beauticians and just give them these wigs, because beauticians know how to style them stuff up. I can give them a short wig, and next thing you know, it's a long flowing wig. So we're looking to partner with some beauticians and some salons so that they can make our wigs, more up to date and presentable, like the girls are wearing these days, for not only breast cancer survivors, but maybe anyone else that's dealing with some hair loss issues due to some treatment, that they've been receiving. So we have that resource center. We like to tap people into resources that are already here. I'm a social worker. So I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel for everything. And one of the things that social workers are known for is not duplicating services. That's a waste of time and money. So if I know of a service, I want to tap my survivors and their supporters into that service.
That's good.
There's a local hospice agency that we partner with, and they do grief counseling. And so I had a survivor who, was experiencing a hard time because her mother had passed away, and I was able to tell her, hey, here's a group to go to. So we just try to tap people into available resources. And one of the things we're trying to do with our luncheon is for it to travel to a city near you.
That's going to be amazing.
Yes, we did. We traveled once to the state of Texas. Central Texas, and we put the luncheon on there and had a really nice program. So that's part of our vision, is to meet survivors all over the country and bring our luncheon event to them, and enhance their community and get their sponsors involved and all of their community members involved in supporting survivors, and also supporting the supporters,
the caregivers.
Definitely, because at the luncheon, we have what we call table captains. And they are the heartbeat to the celebration, because these survivors come to the luncheon and they are table captains, and they bring all of their supporters. And sometimes those supporters are other survivors, but and then sometimes a supporter may come because they are a supporter of, say, an aunt that lives in another state, but they'll become a table captain in her honor. She's not even in Nevada at the luncheon, but they'll come to the luncheon and bring all of their friends and have her name on the table as the table captain. So it's just a really nice way for survivors to show their love for their supporters. I have one survivor. It's like every year she has like about 4 or 5 tables of all of her friends. That come to the luncheon. And it's like, well, this is one that sometimes gets my mail. This one does this one does that. So it's a good way too for survivors to give back to their supporters by bringing them out, for them to just sit back and enjoy an event, be waited on, laugh, dance.
That's good.
So revivals is just what we do. We're reviving people to better health and supporting them. We're one big old support group, as somebody said one time. And so we really love it. And I really love managing it. And we have so many incredible things that we're looking forward to doing with revivals.
That is amazing. That is amazing. I have heard of a lot of cancer groups, and you're right, a lot of them are raising money to cure cancer, but not taking time to celebrate those small wins when they become a legend of conquering cancer. So I love that. So with this pandemic, which is kind of limiting you from doing your brunches and doing your tour, what's next for revivals?
Well, what we're looking to do is maybe having a virtual celebration. We didn't have our celebration in 2020 due to the pandemic. I tried to keep up with supporters as best I could. We're not having it this October in 2021 because of the pandemic. Again, I'm real social, so I'm too social to like social distance. and then and then I don't want to limit it. I don't know how I will be able to pick 40 people to come to an event.
Right.
That would just be too difficult. And then also too, I don't want to run the health risk and have an event and put any survivor or any supporter at risk of COVID-19 because I'm having an event.
Right.
So we're going to put it off, and we're going to put it off, and but we're thinking about doing a virtual event. So we're trying to partner with some different people to see how we're going to put that together.
Okay.
And give the survivors something that they can enjoy in the comfort of their own home and still have it interactive. One of the things that we love to do at the luncheon is line dance.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes at some luncheons leading up to the luncheon, I will post on our Facebook page, here's the line dance that y'all need to learn this week. Because when we get to the luncheon, we're going to be doing it. And so
that's cute.
We love to line dance. In fact, we kick off kind of the line dance party of the luncheon during our legendary ladies ceremony.
Okay.
And we celebrate those ladies who are no longer with us.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lady here in my community who didn't know anything about the luncheon before I met her, and told her all about it. She was so excited about coming. And I told her, I said, yeah, because you got to learn how to do the electric slide. Because she was like, I don't even know how to do the electric slide. I don't even know. So I sent her to a YouTube video so she can learn it. I said, yeah, you got to learn that because we do the electric slide at the luncheon. And she went to heaven before the luncheon happened that year.
Oh, wow.
And so she really was looking forward to it. She had called me one night and even told me that I get turned around a little bit, but I just move in place when I don't know what to do. And so at the luncheon that year, I did introduce her to our guests.
That's good.
And I told them that she wasn't able to be there, but what we were going to do was get on that floor and electric slide for her.
That's
so
good.
We have a homegoing service for all of our legendary ladies, unlike none other.
Oh, wow.
And we honor them. Their families come. We allow their families to talk to us about who they are and what legacy they've left. They bring their grandchildren and show us, all kind of things that these legendary ladies have done to impact our community and our world. And then we celebrate them and we dance our tails off, just to honor them and to recognize what kind of impact they've had on us.
That's amazing, Elaine. I hope you do the virtual event. I think it's going to be amazing. Even though I'm not a breast cancer survivor, but I'm an ovarian cancer survivor. Any win is great to be celebrated. So I hope that you can do that. So you mentioned you had a Facebook page. What is the Facebook page? So if someone wants to follow or connect with you, how can they do that for your nonprofit, for your role as a master social worker, how can they get in touch with Elaine McGraw Brannon?
You know, there was a couple times during the luncheon where I had, several people kind of helping me, host things, and just because I didn't want it to be like a quote Elaine show, and I just kind of spread it around. And it's so funny that you would say that, because this one little old lady pulled me to the side and she says, that lady that you had doing those announcements, she's nice and she's cute and everything. But when I come to these functions, I want you.
Yeah.
So when you said, how can they get in touch with you? I always think of that lady in mind. And so, hey, they can reach out to me, become more acquainted with me at revivalshealth.org. Just go straight to revivalshealth.org. Hey, right at the top of the page, you can click on all of our social media links. We are on Facebook at Revivals Health and Wellness Council. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram. We are, we even have a YouTube page. I think it's at Revivals Health. And so anything that you just Google Revivals Health and Wellness Council, and you can go straight to us. We are developing new things, especially in light of the pandemic, and trying to, keep our close knit to survivors, and making sure that we can continue supporting them and their supporters in some kind of way. Fortunately, sometimes supporters do feel out of sorts when their survivor that they've been supporting goes to heaven.
Wow.
So we make sure we have a special connection with those supporters so that they know, if support is what you do, I got a survivor for you. Oh, that's a t-shirt. I just thought of that.
Yes, that is good. I love it. So if anyone wants to donate, sponsor your events, or sponsor some of the projects for the wigs, or any of the resources and services that your clients that you serve need, can they donate or sponsor through the website, or do they need to contact Elaine directly?
They can go straight to the website, because as soon as you click on that website, you'll see the big donate button. And it takes you to our donation page. And here's the cute thing about our donation page. We have developed what we call a strong arm breast cancer campaign.
Okay.
This is what sets our campaign, our giving campaign, apart from a lot of other campaigns. When you donate to Strong Arm Breast Cancer, you're donating specifically to the survivor or supporters that is on that page.
Oh, wow.
So you're really bypassing Revivals, really, because we don't want to have to distribute funds to a different survivor or supporter all the time. I mean, we will do that if you don't have a particular survivor that you're supporting. But on our Strong Arm Breast Cancer campaign page, you can click right on an individual survivor, see what they're about, see what they're doing, and donate directly to them. Or you can click on one of our legendary ladies and see what legacy they left. We have legendary ladies that have children that are just getting married. They have grandchildren that are going to school that we continue to support. And so you can be a part of that once you become a part of the Revivals family. And
that is amazing.
Yeah, every dollar helps to each survivor, each supporter that we target. And it's just a wonderful thing when a person gives and they know that 100% of the money that they give can go directly to that person.
Wow.
That's part of our giving campaign. And then we make sure that people know that, hey, if they send money to our general fund, that it goes right to that survivor. or that supporter. So we have a lot of other, little fundraisers that we're getting ready to establish, but a lot of it is just private donations, private sponsors for people that just want to know where their money goes. And because we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, all of your donations are tax deductible.
That is great to know. Before we end this amazing session with Elaine, what advice do you have for our African American women that's either battling cancer now, have survived cancer in remission, or it may have resurfaced? What advice can you give them before we finish this series with you?
I would say get connected.
Okay.
And that's a broad term, but yes, and still it can be a narrow term.
Mhm.
Just get connected with somebody that you can talk to about the things that you're facing. Because talking to people and sharing with people is very therapeutic. And you can either choose to pay for it or either not. There are several Facebook groups out there. There are several support organizations that we can connect you with. One that tailors you. There's some people that like in-person groups. I know where those are. There's certain people that like one-on-one. I know who those people are. And so there's some people that like phone. Hey, I just want to only be on the phone. I don't want any visitors. I don't want to, interface with anyone on Zoom or anything like that. I just need to hear someone's voice. We can connect you with those people. And so I think staying connected for the survivor is going to be really important. Again, celebrating wellness. That may be kind of hard to do. That may seem like something you can't do because you're not well.
Right.
You got cancer running through your body and you're fighting it. And you're trying to eat right, and you're trying to exercise, and you're trying to do your medication treatments and all this kind of stuff. What do you mean, Elaine? Be well. Well, there's always something to be well about. The scriptures, even though we're not a faith-based organization, I'm a girl for God. So that's kind of the level I come from, because that's all I know. And the scriptures are very plain about what we should be thinking on. We should be thinking on things of good report. We should be thinking on things that are praiseworthy. We should be thinking of things that are pure. So scripture is very plain,
right,
on what we should be thinking on. So that would be the second thing I would say to them. Stay connected. Think on these things. Just search Philippians in the Bible. Even if you're not a Bible person, you can go Google, what does Philippians say for me to think on? And it'll take you right there. Even if you don't know the Lord, or anything like that, you can find that scripture.
Right.
Will tell you, and I'm on purpose not tell you the scripture so you can go find it.
Right.
Because I'm a social worker. I'm about empowering you. And so get with people that are going to empower you, not enable you. Think on the things that you're supposed to think on, according to what the scriptures say. Get connected with people and learn. You can learn some things. In my journey as a breast cancer survivor, there were some things that I had to learn about myself. But I also made sure I didn't go overboard with it, because I am not a surgeon. I am not a medical professional, even though I'm a social worker in a hospital.
Yes.
I don't know these things. I'm not trying to, I can't even pronounce some of these things.
Right.
And I would drive myself mad trying to figure out all of this stuff. Wow. So that is why you're being informed about your own self-care and being proactive in your medical care is so important, because I could get with somebody who knows all this, who went to school all these years, who spent all this money, who probably got a bunch of student loan, whatever, and they know this stuff. So I'm going to get with somebody that knows this stuff, so that they can help me understand on my level exactly what's going on with me. And if you're a supporter, exactly what's going on with your loved one. And life will be more worth living when you put all of those things in perspective, even when you're in pain, keeping those things in perspective will be a help to you. Staying connected with people, that includes your medical professionals, thinking on the things that you're supposed to think about, educating yourself, seeking out those resources that you need in order to have a long and healthy life. That's what I would say.
Wow. Thank you so much, Elaine, for this amazing series on Dictate the Terms Before You Can't, the importance of advanced directives for healthcare decisions, and sharing your passionate project of your nonprofit Revivals Health and Wellness Council. Very unique, very different, especially is ran by a sister that looks like a sister, an African-American sister. So those of you that are listening or will be watching later, if you are an African-American or a person of color and you support Susan G. Komen, that is all good. That's for the research. But who is supporting you when you're celebrating those small wins, when you come out of chemo and you don't throw up? When you go to the doctor and the doctor say, okay, we don't see no more signs of cancer. Who celebrates you when you make those wins? I'm going to tell you who. It is Elaine McBraw Brannon, the director of Revival Health and Wellness Council, and she's bringing her brunching near you. So virtually, you can connect with her, but just as show, I'm doing a Southern drawl, just as show as she can be able to make this tour on the road, because she's supposed to be coming to Florida. I can't wait to Orlando because I'm gonna be in the room. So I'm gonna tell y'all, need to follow her so y'all know when to come and get your ticket. So don't come asking me. I'm gonna tell you, did you go to her website? But if just in case you can't make it, but you want to support the vision, please visit her website, donate, support, so we can help other women that is going through this battle, so they don't feel alone. And even if you're a caregiver and you need support, which I have never heard of an organization to do, she support the caregiver when you done passed on. I'm like, that is amazing. So do what you can. It don't have, every dollar counts. And her strong arm campaign, that is amazing. What organization have you heard of that you donate in it and you get to pick and choose which cancer survivor or legendary person that you can sow into, not only to support that person that's living, but the legendary people that done passed on to support their family and their grandchildren while they are gone? I mean, this is huge and amazing. So I admonish you, if you want to support something, let's support Revivals Health and Wellness Council. Elaine, thank you so much for educating us on today about advanced directives, about your role as a master social worker, that y'all are just as vital as the doctors and the nurses, and your amazing nonprofit Revivals Health and Wellness Council. I mean, you just full of effort. Your social worker DNA just go all through your stuff.
Well, there's one other place that my social work DNA is going to travel that I almost forgot to tell you.
Really? What is that?
Yes. So I have partnered with 3 other ladies of my sorority.
Okay.
Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And we have a laser focused target on historically Black colleges and universities.
What you say?
Now our sorority has an initiative for HBCUs, but what we decided to do, in line with our Strong Arm Breast Cancer campaign, that really addresses the financial toxicity, and that is, the financial deficits that people have experienced due to cancer.
Right.
Just their basic needs that have been affected.
Right.
And so we thought about students who have that same kind of issue. Sure, they fill out scholarship applications, they fill out loan applications, they are trying to scramble for money for college, books and lab fees and tuition and room and board. But one of the self-care things that they neglect is just that, taking care of themselves. When the dining hall is closed, they're out eating fast food. Why? Because they don't have enough money.
Exactly.
Can they get their hair done? Can they go to the barbershop? All those little things that, well, we consider little, that a college student misses because they're now on their own at college,
Right.
living dime to dime, penny to penny.
Wow.
The people that support them while they're at those HBCUs, a lot of them are not getting big salaries because they're in the education profession.
Right.
And educators in this country don't make a whole lot of money. The
Right.
groundskeepers at those universities don't make a lot. So we are targeting those HBCUs because we didn't attend HBCU. So we're really HBCU-ish.
Well, I can't say that. I went to one, so I can't say that. Right.
And so that's why. So those of us that didn't,
Okay.
we have a laser focused target for those that are.
That's beautiful.
And we have an apparel line that we're coming out with. We're starting out with t-shirts, but it's more than a t-shirt, it's a movement.
Got it.
So we will, through Revival's Health and Wellness Council, take donations for our shirts, and more than 50% of those proceeds are going to go directly to folks at the HBCUs, whether it's students or whether it's faculty or whether it's staff. And we are going to support them in those kind of ways. And talk about a tour. Wait till we take that on tour.
Oh, wow.
Because I am going to be, look out for me, because I'm going to just walk into a social work class with all of y'all's donations, just giving out gift cards to those social work students to just help them along the way. So the other partners, they have their targets on those HBCU campuses that they're looking at. One of the my sorority sisters ran track.
Oh, wow.
At her non-HBCU, and she is going to be targeting some of the athletes.
That's good.
Some of these. So we are just really excited as part of our self-care through Revivals to launch that campaign. So you'll be seeing people in our HBCU-ish t-shirts all over the country. And we are going to loop in all of those people that went to HBCUs, that know people that didn't, and get them on board. Look forward to our new Facebook group for HBCU-ish that's coming out. And we are, you know, I'm at the age now where I can start doing for the next generation what folks did for me when I was a young social worker, when I was a young college student. And I am so jazzed to be able to do that, because I used to sit and admire those people and just think, wow, I can't wait to teach college. Oh, I just know how they're teaching. Or wow, I can't wait to just write checks and just give them to people. Or you know that lady that you go to church and they just have like a little crumbled up bill and they just kind of slide it to you and just give you that little love offering. I wanted to be that person so bad. And so now I'm at a point in my life where I'm older and I am that girl. And so I'm coming to a town near you. And I'm telling you, all you parents of students that go to HBCUs, they're going to be writing home to you, telling you, yes, I was there and I'm going to be supporting your child, just like people supported me in college. And so I'm looking forward to that. And I want to thank you so much for having me on your show and entrusting me to your audience. I hope something I've said resonates with you to where you will do what you need to do to continue to live well or start living well. And if you need any more tidbits on how to do that, definitely reach out to me at revivalshealth.org. All of our contact information is right there on our website. And I look forward to seeing all of you. And when I do come to your town, I want you to tell me, I know you. You're one of Theresa's people. I heard you on her show.
Yeah.
Because I want to meet if all of the people that you touch and that you affect, I want to meet your people, because if they are like you, they have to be like you. If they are in your community, I want to meet them. So definitely, if I come to your town, and I'm slated to come to your town, you make sure you let me know that you're part of her community. And if you see that I'm not in your town, you need to hit me up and say, how come you're not coming to my town? Because I will be there as soon as these COVID-19 streets clear up. I am hitting the road, going on tour with the Keeping the Faith Breast Cancer Survivors Luncheon, as well as Strong Arm Breast Cancer and our HBCU-ish apparel.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Elaine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember, stay connected with her. Visit the website. Follow her on social media. Donate. Get involved, because it matters. It takes a village, even not just for a child, but it even takes a village for everybody, because we are not always in our greatness every day. So we need to be taken care of. So Elaine, thank you so much for this beautiful series, educating us on advanced directives, how important they are, how to navigate that space, how to make sure we can communicate beyond capacitation of how we want to be treated, and your amazing nonprofit and what you and your sorority is getting ready to do. I think it's phenomenal. So this is your host, Therese W Gamble, Courageous Conversation. We have just been listening to Elaine Brannon of Nevada. Yes, we going across the nation with this station. We're not staying in place. We're going across the nation to tell these stories of these amazing Black voices about dictating the terms before you came. The importance of advanced directives for your healthcare decisions, and the mission, the vision, the purpose, and the goals that Elaine has set for Revival Health and Wellness Council. Thank you for listening, and always, in the words of Elaine, stay connected.
And stay on jam.
Thank you for listening to Courageous Conversation with Therese W Gamble, bridging generational gaps through active listening and action-oriented changes.